But if a person was just to put out a digital version of their comic, it's about a 2-minute process. We do all of the trafficking and validation, making sure that it's compatible across all platforms and all devices that we currently support, making sure that the IP security stuff is in place, and et cetera, et cetera. Because again, you want to make this as low risk for the publishers as possible. You don't want them to have to think about, am I going to have to recoup $15,000 in development or 8 weeks of artist time, or however you want to measure it, in order just to break even on this. You want this to be branded simple in terms of it being part of their production process. In terms of adding enhanced content, anyone who's ever added tags or labels to something like Facebook or MySpace or Flickr or anything like that can add enhanced content. And it'll add maybe an additional 5 minutes or something like that. It's very, very straightforward, very simple process. In terms of content, we can search by different heuristics. So let's say that I go to search by publisher. I'm going to enter D, get Dable Brothers, and then I'm just going to be displayed the titles that are currently in storefront by Dable Brothers. Within your library, actually, let's go back to the store real quickly. For power users, there is, in addition to the pretty tile view, we also have the list mode for power users, and you can control-click and multiple select titles, add them to your wish list, add to storefront, et cetera, et cetera. In our library, wow, that was awesome. You have your entire library of content that you currently hold on your device, and in the same way that the storefront is set up, you have the potential, like say in a year after you've purchased lots of titles, to have hundreds of thousands of comics on your computer, which can be a real bitch to find the titles that you want unless you've got intelligent search capabilities. So let's say I'm going to click on image, and it's going to show me just the titles that I have that have been published by image. Okay, and let's say that I'm going to select that Jane McKelvey kid. And it's going to show me just the image titles that Jane McKelvey's worked on. Suburban Primer and that. And this is Fungram. So you can also step back through the toggles and let's say, okay, now I just want to see the stuff that Jonathan Hickman has worked on. And that search function works for any of the combinations. So let's say that I just want to see all the titles that Mark Wade has worked on regardless of publisher. So it gives me the work that, in the library, for instance, that he's done for Boom and for Top Cow. But let's see the reader. Excuse me. Okay. Reader starts in single page mode. You can use the on-screen controls. You can use hotkey functions. You can use our little DVD-style shelf. Or you can use my personal favorite, the Quick Nav shelf. Did I drink something? There it is. And I would actually like to point out at this point that post-HeroesCon, someone brought up a really brilliant idea, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to credit who actually came up with the idea or who suggested it, but I thought, oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. So the Quick Nav Shelf lets you see all of the pages for the comic in visual context. It also lets you go up and browse at the chapter level or the book level. So if you've purchased a collection, say for instance, you've got a storyline collection, the equivalent of a digital trade paperback. You can go up and browse at the chapter level, or if you've got a series of trade collections, you can go up and browse at the trade level. But the suggestion that came up was we demonstrated this at